Well, you're talking about the music in this movie, and I just want to say, body shot. What is it, shot or rock? What does she say there?
Okay, I think I even wrote that down. Like, what is she saying?
I bet if we look
What is the word she said?
Because of the, let's say, level of creativity involved, I bet the name of the song is just whatever she says, so I bet we can find out.
Body shot.
I mean, body shot seems right, but it could be body rock, could be body talk, could be body pop.
Body hot?
Body hot. Yeah, because it's during the exercise part, right? So that makes sense. This, for some reason, typing this in to the search bar, I typed Ninja 3 okay? And the, to look for the soundtrack. And the suggested ones are Ninja 3 The Demolition, Ninja 3 The Possession, Ninja 3 The Denomination. It's not any of those. What is happening? Why is it suggesting those?
Weird.
It's Domination. Domination. Okay. Domination, Ninja 3 The Domination soundtrack. Because I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of them are written by the same guy. Body Shop, as in like where you take your car.
Not even close to any of the ones.
Well, hey, it was a 4-letter word with ah sound in it, so you know. One of my notes about this movie: fantastic score, awful soundtrack. Like the songs are terrible, right? Don't you think so? No.
I kind of like them. They remind me of like just really cheesy 80s kind of rom-com movies.
Because that's what they are. I mean, it's like that when he's getting out of the car with his groceries to go in her apartment and the songs that's playing, it's like, yeah, this would be from like a Billy Crystal movie. Like, what is happening? I'll have to let my daughter know because we were singing it too. Because she watched it with me a few weeks ago, and then you and I ended up not being able to record for a bit, so I watched it again. And the first time when I wrote about it on my letterbox, I said, do I have a problem watching this movie twice the same month? Absolutely not.
Oh, hell no. It's so fun.
It's totally fun. It's very entertaining. You know what? And it's, what do you think? It's a horror movie, right? Like enough of a horror movie for us to talk about it?
It's a total horror movie.
Yeah,
it's all about demon possession.
Yeah,
and
true.
There's, shit flying around and like swords coming out of closets.
Yeah, there's ghost activity.
Yeah.
Ghost activity.
It's poltergeist activity.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I'm sure that one of the movies they were thinking about.
And that's such a scary thing. Any kind of possession type shit is fucking terrifying because you don't even know it's happening. Like, we're talking about how like losing time is really kind of scary. She has like her continuing to be like, I have no idea what the fuck has happened for the past, like, disassociation was the word.
Dissociation. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I have no idea what the fuck happened, like, the past, like, few hours. I've totally lost time, and now I have all these fucking bruises all over me. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's scary.
And sometimes the boyfriend handles it well, and sometimes he's like, well, but, nah, you're fine. Magic isn't real.
I think it's, like, after the third time, she's like, something's wrong. He's like, okay, maybe we should go to the doctor.
Yeah. You know what?
And they don't even listen to her. They're like, you're fine.
Oh yeah. So you have you have stress but everybody has stress. Your body's in good shape. Your diet is better than most people because, like she says, she doesn't use soft drinks. That's what she says. But I don't know. You could consider soft drinks a drug a little bit. All that shit in there, and they do want you to be addicted to it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when I got out of high school, I worked a job inspecting computer parts.
Uh-huh.
And I had a magnifier glass, and I also had to put the little gold piece that goes on the computer chips. I had to put those on by hand. I made $6.50 an hour, and I worked from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I had a Coke at breakfast. a Coke for lunch break, and then another Coke before I left.
Oh, man.
Then I go home and have probably 2 or 3 more Cokes.
Jeez.
Yeah, I drank a shit ton of Coke.
What is it with tall people and Coke? I mean, Trevor loved Diet Coke.
I don't know. And it was Diet. Sorry.
Diet Coke is funny because it's like, you know what? I don't want to die from obesity. I want my death to be a mystery. That's what diet soda is. You know what I mean? Because who the fuck knows what's really aspartame and all that shit?
I don't drink soda at all anymore.
I hardly do.
Haven't.
Hey, okay, so tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I don't know, you either watch a Leprechaun movie or The Fugitive, which takes place, part of it takes place during St. Patrick's Day, so.
I don't know why, but just that is one of the movies where I just will randomly quote out of nowhere. I think I even quoted it yesterday where I just went to myself out loud. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Well, you know why you quote it all the time?
Why?
Because that movie's the fucking best. Fugitive is the best. That movie rules. I mean, I watch it all the time, and it's perfect. And what's really interesting about The Fugitive is you look at, so the director, Andrew Davis, Chicago guy, and, you know, that's a big-time Chicago movie, and a great Chicago movie. So you look at his films from before that, it was mostly Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris, like, Chicago-based action movies. And then he made one called The Package with Gene Hackman, R.I.P., which was a little classier, more prestige action, kind of like The Fugitive. But then, and then he made The Fugitive, and, like, it got nominated for Best Picture. Tommy Lee Jones won for supporting, and da-da-da. And the next film he makes was Under Siege with Steven Seagal. So he's like, all right, back to the slums, you know. But what's cool... Those 2 cops that interview him, like, well, if there is a one-armed man, where is he? Color his hair, color his eyes. Those guys are in all of this dude's movies, and they're real ex-cops.
That's cool. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, none of that has to do with anything that we're talking about. But, oh, yeah, because we were talking about St. Patrick's Day. Because you mentioned soda. And you mentioned soda because I mentioned the scene in Ninja 3, The Domination, where she goes to the doctor. See, since we can't put up visual cues letting people know how the fuck we got to what we're talking about, that's what I'll do. I'll just put out a roadmap sometimes. Anyway, so so the doctor is like, hey, you know, you're healthy, you're da-da-da-da-da, and, you know, the only, you know, you got some stress, and the only other thing that's weird is your ESP. And, like, she mentions that another time in the movie, too. It's like, wait, and then doesn't really bring it up.
Very strange.
I love it. It's like your extrasensory perception. You're huh? What? So... Oh man! Well, since we're already talking about it, let's we could intro it, right?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I don't know. Welcome to Earnful of Popcorn. My name is Timmy Williams. Oh, I just did it wrong.
And I'm Shandi Sullivan.
Are you?
Yeah.
People listening are probably aware you have some sort of housing crisis going on, so you know.
Yeah. It really sucks.
Which, you know what, and that does suck. I am glad that it happens to match up with us watching, like, a really stupid movie. You know? Like, it's not about Nazis. It's not about, like, parental abuse. It's about dancing ninjas.
It was really, because I had mentioned this to you before that I had just randomly come across it last year and texted you while I was watching it. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I'm watching this, like, ninja movie, but there's, like, aerobics chick in it, and she's possessed. Like, have you seen this? This is fucking awesome. And, like, her room is dope. And you're like, that movie rules. I was like, yeah.
Of course he knows about this. Yeah. Well, Shandy's original idea for March was kung fu horror movies, of which there are some, but the ones we landed on are not really kung fu per se. But they're both actually involve Japan and Japanese martial arts, and this one's about ninjas. And besides the presence of a couple Japanese, one Japanese guy and one Chinese guy playing a Japanese person, and the sword and some of the stuff and some of the words. I don't know how much else in this movie is actually from, like, Japanese culture or ninja culture, you know?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could consider this an Israeli-American film?
Yeah. Well, you know, you know, I'm sure you are aware that I'm ready to fucking dive into this because horror movies and action movies are like where my expertise crosses over. But I have I collect a bunch of movies. For those who don't know, I have a spot on my shelf that says the label is Ninja, open parenthesis, plural, close parenthesis, because But yeah, so. Yeah, this movie. So today, yeah, I feel like we haven't quite said. So we're talking about Ninja 3: The Domination, which is, I didn't write down the year. I normally do that.
1980.
Oh, not 1980.
84. Or sorry, 84.
I was going to say it's a little too crazy for 80. But so I don't know. Well, you probably are aware just because I am your friend and force you to hear me babble on about bullshit. But so Ninja 3, the Domination is about a Cannon group, and yes, it's Menachem Golan, and who's the other guy? Goran Globus, were these producers that made a bunch of schlocky B-movie pictures under Golan Globus, and then later Cannon Group. And Cannon Group is famous for crazy action movies. There's, I think, more than one documentary about Cannon Group, and when you come to, like, 80s movies, they're, like, the cream of the crop, because not only did they do that, but they did Breakin', the famous breakdancing movie.
Yeah, and the girl in this is and that too, isn't she? So she's in Breaking Part 2, right?
Yes, Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, one of the most famous sequel names of all time. But that's where they got Lucinda Dickey from. She wasn't an actress; she was a dancer. She was also a dancer on Solid Gold, which was a TV show where they were people dancing to whatever the current pop hits were. I remember seeing it when I was a little kid, but yeah, so. In the 70s, martial arts became a popular thing in America. Bruce Lee, the Shaw Brothers and stuff. And so as that kind of like developed, well, then ninjutsu kind of became this thing. And the version of ninjutsu that these American movies are into, I don't know how accurate it is, but so these guys, but Cannon Group was all over it. So Cannon Group made Enter the Ninja, which is what you would call a white ninja movie, because the main ninja in that movie is Italian actor Franco Nero, who was famous for playing the original Django back in the 60s. And very handsome. So there was that one. And the bad guy in that was Sho Kosugi, who's a real ninja, and he's like kind of was helping the Cannon Group make all these ninja movies. So then the second one of those they made was Revenge of the Ninja. Story-wise, nothing to do with Enter the Ninja. Sho Kosugi plays the hero now. Okay, great. And that one's pretty fun. The bad guy's a white ninja. It's almost like it's his commentary on the first movie. But the bad guy has like a wrist laser, for his ninja gadgets. And at one point, Sho Kosugi's character, I don't know, they're fighting on a rooftop. And at one point, you see the bad guy like chop the head off the ninja. You're like, oh my God, what was a mannequin? And somehow Sho's character had a mannequin like on his person and set it up. So they just stopped being as serious, and then they made Ninja 3, The Domination. And these movies are not related to each other, except they're the same producers and director, Sam Furstenberg, who's also Israeli, because you must know that because you mentioned this is an Israeli-American movie.
Yeah, and I guess that's how he met, I like how it said, synthesizer score by.
Yes.
He's also Israeli, too, Misha Segal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, they probably met in like Tel Aviv or something.
Yeah, and another weird thing about that is he may be the first, but he's not the only Israeli-American director who really got ninja movies. Because 20 years later, in the early mid-2000s, there are two great direct-to-video ninja movies, Ninja and Ninja 2, Shadow of a Tear, that were directed by Isaac Florentine, who's an Israeli-American guy. Starring Scott Adkins, who's a British martial artist, and he's been in a lot of stuff. But
hey, Timmy, is there a ninja movie called Ninja?
Yeah.
Bloodline.
Oh, Bloodlines? No! Dude, there's gotta be. There's gotta be, right? There has to be. Ninja, Bloodlines, there's gotta be. You know what? I typed in Ninja Bloodline and it brings up Naruto or however they say it. So.
Really? Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh my God, there's like a movie. Wait a minute. Oh, this is all... Holy shit. Okay, I typed in Ninja Bloodlines. There's a bunch of Naruto stuff, the anime. But then it had this movie, Bloodlines, Murder in the Family. Well, I clicked on that because I thought it was funny. After us talking a few different times about how there's so many sequels that are called Bloodlines. Well, here's a movie called Bloodlines with a colon for the sequel, Bloodlines, Murder in the Family. So I clicked on that. And then the description of the movie Bloodlines, Murder in the Family is as follows. the aftermath of the notorious ninja murders, a.k.a. the Yom Kippur murders, is dramatized by following Melody Woodman, Mimi Rogers, and Elliot Gould is in it. So, okay, so that ties into both Jewish people and ninjas. So Sam Furstenberg working with the Cannon Group, yeah. So they made Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja. Enter the Ninja was not Furstenberg, but he did Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3. Then he made American Ninja 2. They later made American Ninja 3, 4, and 5 without Furstenberg. But so he made like probably the 4 best ninja movies of the 80s, at least with this goofy American kind of ninja movie. So the guy's good. But he seems like he's awesome. And there is a movie he did called Avenging Force. I think it was that movie where he gives an intro to it on the Blu-ray. He's like, I'm so glad they found this and put it back out, because...
oh, hell yeah.
But before we get back to Ninja 3, I want to talk about one more Cannon Films interesting thing. So one of Cannon Films' most successful movies is Invasion USA, starring Chuck Norris. You ever heard of that one?
No.
It's kind of like What If Red Dawn, but Chuck Norris. Is kind of the idea, because bad guys from Russia, Cuba, and all these countries that America was scared of in the 80s team up and sneak into America and start taking it over. And Chuck Norris stops them. That's the whole movie, right? So they made it. He and his brother kind of came up with this movie, Aaron Norris and Chuck Norris, and it's it's a very, Chuck Norris is famously like kind of right wing, Republican stuff, and so it's like, hey, it's the brave white man fighting off all the foreign invaders, So then the studio at Cannon Films was like, well, let's make a sequel. And so in the sequel, Chuck Norris's character is, it catches back up with him, and now he's fighting American white supremacists in the South.
Oh.
And Chuck Norris wouldn't do it. I wonder why.
Why?
Mm-hmm. Well, you mean they're not brown? So.
Ugh.
And part of the story is these like KKK mercenary people are going after a black politician. So they were like, well, fuck this. We'll go to the ninja guys for this. So at the time, Sam Furstenberg had made American Ninja. That stars Michael Dudikoff, who was a model and a dancer too, I think, and just like Lucinda Dickey, but they taught him martial arts, and he did American Ninja 2, and those are both fantastic, insane ninja movies. And so in between American Ninja 1 and 2, Furstenberg's like, well, let's do this with Michael Dudikoff, who's super chill, super chill guy, and Steve James, who's like giant, muscly, gorgeous black man with a mustache, plays the politician in the movie. So like he's also kicking ass for part of the movie, but American Ninja 1 and 2, it's Dudikoff and Steve James like messing people up. So the movie is actually really fucking awesome, and it's called Avenging Force, and so that's it's kind of like, yeah, screw you, Chuck Norris, you know what I mean? So
go away, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, go away. He's like 88, or he's like really fucking old. He just had a birthday, but anyways, but so there's a little bit of background on action movies and stuff, and that's how Cannon Films got to the point of making Ninja 3, The Domination. And I watched, because I watched it on Blu-ray, obviously. And as far as saying it's a horror movie, it's on Shout Factory's imprint label, Scream Factory. So yeah, it makes it a horror movie, I guess. But,
yes, it does.
Anyways, but so I watched, there's a little 10-minute interview on it with the guy who played the boyfriend. Yeah, the actor Jordan Bennett. And he seemed like a pretty chill guy. And he's like, here's what happened. He's like, Cannon Films had big success with ninja movies, and they wanted to make a third one, but they didn't know the angle on it. Well, right as they started working on it, Flashdance came out, which is a big 80s dancing, spandex, hot girls movie, right? So, and around the same time, they had success with Breakin' and Breakin' 2. So it was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a ninja movie about a dancing lady. And then obviously, like you said, Poltergeist, which had to be right around this time too, right? Poltergeist is like a mid-80s film.
Oh my God, so they basically stole
1982.
Like the part of the plot from Flashdance, or like part of the story.
Here's the deal, you tell me. I've never seen Flashdance. So there's part of the plot that's similar?
Okay, so in Flashdance, the main character, so she's trying to become an elite dancer, right? Mm-hmm. But she's also a minor. Like she works in the mines. So in this movie and Ninja 3: The Domination, she works for a phone company, like climbing up poles, but then she's also a fitness instructor who's like a dancer.
Yeah.
So they basically took that concept and ran with it and added the ninja story to it.
We don't need to talk about the plot thing because it's like, well, it's pretty simple. A ninja assassin gets killed on the job, and we'll definitely talk more about how that happens. But he gets killed on the job. This woman happens to be working on a phone pole nearby and sees him like stumbling before he dies, and he basically kind of curses her or does something and possesses her. And so the rest of the movie, she has his memories, and he kind of takes control of her, and she makes her go kill the cops that were responsible for shooting him, and then she starts fucking one of them. So,
oh man,
that's a great scene too.
I don't know so her name is Chrissy in the movie. Her cop boyfriend is Billy. So she works for the phone company. There's a scene where she's with another dude from the company and they're sitting there and it just has this big sign that says men working.
Yeah.
And her name tag says Chris.
Oh.
Instead of Kristen or
Christy is her name, yeah.
Yeah, or whatever her name is.
So it just says, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So like she's doing the man's job.
Yeah. And that's kind of progressive in a way, right? For 1984? Yeah. And she's like...
Yeah, but she still has to have a dude's name tag on though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's progressive for the movie to have this happening. In the world of the movie, it seems like what are they making her disguise as a dude? Because, she's even in her phone company clothes. She's obviously a lady. She's got it going on, So
she sure does.
But anyways, that's interesting. I never noticed that. But even if like in the world of the movie, they're like, well, we got to pretend you're a dude. At least in the movie, they're like, well, she'll have like a cool job. It's pretty interesting. So it starts with this ninja driving down. Well, it's a guy. You don't know it's a ninja. He's driving down the road in a sedan and stops somewhere in the desert and runs into a cave, and it's like his secret ninja cave.
I wrote down, anytime you have a backlit glowing rock that holds swords and ninja stars, and that's how you start a movie,
Hell yeah.
You know you're in for a fun ride.
Yeah, and they don't retreat on that at all. And what I want to know is, so he's got this cave. And he's like a ninja. He's like an assassin for hire, is what they kind of mention, I think, too. But that's what it seems to be. So what I want to know is, I hope he's making a lot of money, because he must have a big power bill in this cave, because the lights in the rock thing that have his weapons, it was already on, right? So are there just lights on all the time? How's that work? Yeah.
So I also had a thought, too. I was like, okay, so obviously he has some sort of fucking power.
Yeah.
As well, because he's insanely strong.
Yeah, I think it's just like he's such a good ninja that it becomes magic, basically.
Yeah, so maybe there's some kind of like the rock has some weird power in it or something.
Yeah, that could be it. His power, his ninja power.
His ninja power.
This is one of those movies where it's just like, go ahead and take it at face value.
Yeah.
And like if you try to like think about like, well, I wonder why this. The answer is almost always because ninja.
Because
it's like,
he's a fucking
he's a ninja. And that's how they wrote it. They're just, these dudes, people making this movie, obviously they fucking love ninjas. This is the third of what was going to be 8 ninja movies they made, So, hell yeah. And plus, that's not even counting, I'm only talking about movies with the word ninja in the title. They also made a bunch of other movies, and I'm sure some of those involve ninjas. So, but you could tell these guys were just like, yeah, man, ninjas are awesome, so.
And this ninja, I said this the first time I watched it, and I said it again this time. I was like, this ninja's got some fucking balls.
Yeah.
Got some balls. Because I was like, aren't ninjas supposed to be covert and strike and camouflage themselves and usually go at nighttime? It is probably 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's probably tea time on this golf
daylight.
course.
Yeah. And he hides for a little bit. And speaking of camouflage, though, I wrote down, because this is what I think. So often ninjas are wearing black. Well, like you said, it's in the daytime. and he's going on a golf course. There's a lot of plants and trees. He's got this like kind of khaki green thing. I think it's actually better camouflage.
Yeah.
You know?
If he would have stayed hidden.
Right, if he would have stayed hidden. But he goes to the golf course. He's obviously going to kill somebody. And they show this guy and his wife golfing, and they've got security guards with them. And so the ball lands near where the ninja is. So he just takes it, picks up the ball, and a security guard comes, and then he smashes the ball, like crushes it. And is that hard? I've never tried that. It's probably hard to do that, right?
You can't crush a golf balls are hard as shit.
Are they? They're
they
mostly,
will
yeah.
kill you if they hit you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I have a grandma got hit in the head with a golf ball once. She was okay, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a girl across my street that got hit in the head with a golf club iron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was standing behind the kid, and we were like, "Get out of the way!" And she didn't get out of the way.
Man.
The other kid swung back, hit her right in the fucking head. Blood went everywhere.
Jeez.
And we had blood on our sidewalk forever after that. Because she bled a lot.
Yeah, yikes. We did a golf unit in gym, but, South Dakota, it was winter. So we were in the gym hitting golf balls at, like, a big net thing to catch them. And had to be very careful, obviously. And this wasn't in my class, but it was a kid that I knew. He got a wood, which is the big round one, right in the mouth and like fucked up all of his teeth.
So
you gotta be careful.
That just gave me chills.
I know, right? Teeth damage. I know a kid who, a guy. He's actually. He has a he does a body shop fixing cars. For hail damage, but he's also like a semi-professional like race car driver, and which is an interesting job. You don't come across those guys very often,
No.
But when he was a kid, he was at another friend of mine's house. I wasn't there, but they had one of those adjustable basketball hoops, and this guy was short like me, so they lowered the net, and they were playing around, and he goes up to dunk it and caught his teeth in the net, and it pulled him like straight out, like straight up, like perpendicular. Yeah. Isn't that fucked up?
That chill went through my legs.
I know, dude. Sorry. Is that horrible to think about? But, yeah.
What a freak accident.
Yeah, like he got his mouth wired. Yeah, what a crazy accident.
Oh my God.
He ended up being okay, I'm sure. But he definitely think he had wires and braces and all that shit. So
I mentioned the golf clubs because like this ninja, like the guy swings one of the irons at him and he fucking bends it with his arm. That's why I think he has powers. Because he also he lifts up the golf cart while it's running.
With one hand.
With one hand. And he also
yeah.
punches through the police car roof.
Right. Well, and when he's inhabiting the woman, she breaks a pool ball the same way he breaks a golf ball.
Yeah, it's fucking
so it's definitely powers.
Superhuman strength.
And then at the end, there's he does all sorts of magic shit at the end. He's like a fucking wizard. So, and we'll talk about it obviously, but so he's there to kill this guy and his wife, and he kind of brutally murders the wife. He cuts her once so she falls and stabs her in the back.
I was like, oh no, she's gonna get away. Oh, nope.
Yeah, nope. A lot of people don't get away.
No.
So then the security guards come up, and he kills all of them. And the mark of a good ninja movie, and Canon Films was always good at this, Sam Furstenberg and stuff. You got to have, obviously you want martial arts and shit. You want people getting cut with swords. But you need all the gadgets, because one thing people know about real ninjas from back in the day in Japan is they had a bunch of weird little gadgets they would use, grappling hooks and caltrops and, of course, ninja stars. So he throws some of that at these guys, the ninja stars. And, yeah, it's so great. It's a very 80s thing only, I feel like. But, a ninja star, it's always you see the person throw the ninja, and then it just cuts to whoever it went to, with it sticking out of their chest or head, holding going, ah! It's always, with, blood and stuff, But
it's, a ninja star to the face is always good.
Great. One thing I want to mention about this ninja as he's getting ready, he has a mustache. And in any movie where someone's wearing a face mask and they have a mustache, I'm like, that's not comfortable.
No.
You got all those whiskers mashed up, and now he probably has. Maybe one reason he's so mean is that he's got whiskers sticking up his nose. And he's like, I can't fucking get in there until I kill all these guys. I don't know.
that why this happened?
Yeah, just the whole thing. He's like, I must take revenge.
11 minutes of just fucking murder pandemonium on a golf course.
You counted the minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I just stopped it when it stopped, and I was like, how many minutes has it been?
Yeah. Yeah, and I counted the bodies, and now in some of the death count that I had, it's maybe not super duper clear that the person died, but I don't know. I mean, to me, this is the kind of movie where if you see someone get hit with a ninja weapon, they're dead, because ninjas are ninjas, you know. So no matter what, you're dead, you know. But yeah, so he kills the guy and his wife, then he kills the 4 security guards that come up, and then the cops come. And good fucking Christ. My count was 23 police officers get killed.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, in this part. And then obviously when he inhabits the woman, they kill a couple more, or a bunch more, really. But
I laughed so hard when the 2 cops on the motorcycles are going down the dirt road and he just fucking runs in between. Like, he kind of stops and they're about ready to zoom past, and he just runs in between them.
Yeah.
Up the hill. Like, they don't even like stick out their arm or a baton or anything. You
know why?
Goes right by him.
Because I bet if you're going really fast on a motorcycle on gravel, you gotta fucking hang on to that shit. That's probably really hard to steer. That might be why.
Just so funny. The cops in this movie are so funny.
Yeah, and they're all well. That's another thing I wrote down a couple times is that this movie kind of has this great anti-authoritarian message to it, because it's like fuck cops. You know, and she's killing rich people at the beginning, and the guy's a scientist. And the ninja was hired, or she isn't, but the ninja is killing the scientist at the beginning. We don't know what he was a scientist for. Maybe it was something good. Who knows? But still, he's a rich guy golfing. Fuck him, you know? So, anyways, but yeah, so many cops. And then so many of the cops are like sleazeballs.
I should have written down how many of them had a cigar in their mouth.
Like, at least
all
like 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah, a bunch. So funny. And here's what I think. This is what I was wondering in this part. So yeah, he like kills tons of cops. Like I said, 23. He jumps on a car, stabs down through the car, kills some of them. He's like, yeah, killing dudes off motorcycles. And then they finally surround him and start shooting him a bunch. And that's when you see like multiple real sleazy looking cops, sunglasses and cigars and shit, shooting him. And then he's dying and he stumbles off. And yeah, we cut to Christy climbing the tree, or climbing the phone pole, and she looks and she sees him and she goes up to him. And at first he's like trying to attack her, kind of, right? Or something. Like they kind of fight almost a little bit.
They fight a little bit. She's like, are you okay? Do you need any help? And then they kind of start wrestling. I mean, I would too if some dude covered in blood.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta try either get away or
costume.
Yeah, dude. But then like she gets away, and then he like starts talking to her and holds up his sword, and she almost becomes sympathetic towards him. Then
I felt like he kind of has this weird power where he has like this power of suggestion over
like
people,
hypnotize or hypnotic.
Yeah, because she turned to leave, but then he started doing his weird eye thing. And she stopped and turned around and was almost like she was under his control or his spell. Because in her mind, she just was assaulted by this bloody, strange man that she tried to help.
Yeah.
But now she just walks towards him and kneels.
Yeah.
In front of him.
That's a good call, Shane. I never thought about that. So yeah, because obviously that's what happens the rest of the movie is he's controlling her. He is possessing her. So
dominating her soul. She's so good in this movie.
She's fantastic. They really found a good match, and she's got this like I said, the movie's kind of got an anti-authority message, but also Lucinda Dickey's really good at playing this lady, and she does not put up with fucking bullshit from dudes, you know?
When she's doing her aerobics class, and then there's just the shots of the guys that are in the same room, I guess,
so
working
weird.
out, and they're all just leering at all the women.
Yeah.
But then Billy, the cop, is in the middle trying to do the workout, which was really funny.
Yeah.
But that scene kind of was pissed me off as just like she leaves her class, and then there's 4 or 5 fucking huge dudes trying to fuck with this tiny little girl. or not girl, this woman, no, there's how many people were out there? Like 20, 30 people, and nobody did anything. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, leave her alone. And then, of course, they try to fuck with her. And then Billy kind of pissed me off, too.
Yeah, because he's a cop and he's not doing anything.
He's not doing anything. He's just kind of fucking standing there. And then she's under arrest or whatever. And he makes that whole fucking speech about, he just like wants her to go out with him, but then he throws a fucking tantrum.
Yeah. And you know, and it's like, the thing he says is, like, because he's mad at her that she hates him just because he's a cop. It's kind of what he's mad about. And
that's
like, okay,
right.
You can get mad at somebody for judging you, like for some, you know, just based on something like that, I guess. But I don't know, not if you're a cop. I think like it's okay to fucking hate cops. And she has already said like, I don't date cops, because when they first meet is in the police station. And he offers her a soda. I don't use soft drinks. And then he offers her coffee. Coffee's bad for you. He's like, what about candy? And then he reaches into his pocket and just has like loose Skittles. And they drop out of his pocket. Did you notice that? Like, what is that? So then he finds out, probably by a misuse of police data, that where she teaches fitness and stuff. And he goes, and then he stands with the rest of the crowd while she fights these rapists off. And I wrote down the whole crowd just watching is a bummer, but it's also realistic, you know?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
I did write a note down when she was talking to him in the police station. Mm-hmm. Women in tank tops, hell.
Yeah, she looks very good in that. Yeah.
Because how many movies or TV shows or whatever do we know that the woman is always in a fucking tank top? You got Terminator.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Alien. Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Tank Girl.
Yeah. Which is right there, obviously. But you know what? All those movies you listed. So to me, I'm like, oh yeah. So a tank top is like shorthand for this woman's tough.
Yep.
Which is cool because you can see their muscles. Like you mentioned, Terminator 2 especially. Linda Hamilton is fucking cut in that movie. Mm-hmm. You know, so she's got to take that. And Lucinda Dickey obviously is. She's hot and in good hot lady shape, curvy and whatnot. But she also is like got some muscles and obviously is like fit, not just hot. You know, whatever you want to say, I don't know. But you're right. And, just the way she's presented, and even though, yes, large chunks of the movie, she's in spandex, she's in her panties, whatever, being sexy, but, like, the whole time she's also kind of like, fucking whatever, this is just what I am. You know, it's not like it never feels like she's trying to look a certain way. That's just kind of who she is. That's kind of what I thought. I don't know. I
wonder if that kind of became a strong woman movie trope of putting them in tank tops because women had to always kind of be covered up.
Yeah.
Possibly. Or it had to always be about their tits being out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when I think about like the classic white tank top, you think of it being on a man.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and think about the nickname for it. Wife beater.
Wife beater, right?
So, yeah.
So it's almost like women taking back power. Mm-hmm. And it's just a woman in a tank top. That's why I'm partially bi, because they're fucking hot.
Nate Brown, Sam's brother, said, we agreed that if we were a little older and had grown up and saw this movie as children, that a lot of scenes from this movie, Ninja 3, The Domination, would definitely be involved in the first time masturbating. Right? I mean, because it's one of those you could probably watch with your mom and dad around, and they wouldn't be weird about it because there's no boobs. I don't even think they're swearing in it, maybe a little bit. Mm-mm. But you could, watch it with your parents and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to remember that for later. Right? All those sweaty dancing moves. Yeah, so anyways.
Yeah, the bending over.
Oh, yeah. God. Which, by the way, going back to that real quick. Okay, all those rapey dudes hanging out in the fitness class, right? Shame on the gym. What the fuck are they doing? That should be in a
why don't they have
room.
their own room?
Yeah, why are they right there? I mean, you'd think even just not even a safety thing, not even like a proper kind of whatever. It's just like logically, like if I worked out, I want my space to be like where people are working out. I don't want to have this loud exercise class right next to me, let alone distracting me with spandex butts. But here's the other thing about the tank tops, especially that kind of undershirt style. By the time you got to the 70s and 80s, that kind of shirt was synonymous with like the working man comes home, takes his dress shirt off. He's got the under. So giving the women that like, yeah, women are working too. And so the first two times you see her working in a like a utility jumpsuit thing, doing phone work. And then you see her like that. It's like, this lady works, you know? And it's like, it almost like puts that in your head first, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna have her in a scantily clad like aerobic suit, bending over and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I like that first they established like, yeah, this lady kind of doesn't take any shit, you know.
Man, she works a lot. She's doing fucking working for a phone company, and then like, when does she have downtime?
I don't know, because she's working for a phone company. She teaches aerobics, and then she's blacking out at night and being possessed by a ninja ghost and going out and murdering police officers. So she, yeah.
How did she not lose either of her jobs?
She's really nailing it. A powerful woman. And and I wrote down here like, you know, she's good looking, whatever, but her history as a dancer gives her physicality. I assume that's why she's in good, like, muscly shape, kind of, right? Because she's an actual dancer. But she kind of comes across as intimidating a little bit, too. You know, because her boyfriend, this guy, the cop, Billy Secord, is he shorter than her? He might be.
I think so, but she does have this, like, kind of butch, like, sensibility about her, even though...
Like, listen, man, I don't go out with cops. Yeah, like that, you know? And... It's great. And so, and he just keeps trying and eventually kind of wears down. It's like, okay, you know, all right. Because it's like, it didn't feel, I mean, what he's doing is kind of whiny, of course, like you said, and just kind of eye-rolling. But also it's like, maybe he did manipulate her a little bit, but it seems like they're both, like, because she's kind of fucking with him too. And then it's like, okay, you're cool. Let's go inside, you know? So
I mean, the fact that she turned him down at the cop station, and then he was like, you know what? I really like this chick. So, okay, I found out she's a fitness instructor. Let me go take her class, even though he can't even get through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of appreciated that he made that kind of effort.
Yeah, and he's not, like, sleazy with her.
No.
He doesn't try and grab her boobs or anything. Speaking of him going to the fitness class, and he has the candy, and based on the other cops we see... I wrote down, this film really pushes that every cop is out of shape, sleazy, unhealthy, useless, and has loose candy in their pockets for some reason.
Yeah, all the cops felt greasy.
Yeah, horrible people. Yeah, which is fine, you know. And I know there's good cops. I know cops here that are, like, really good people, and they're not, you know... most of the ones I know that are good people they're not out in the car. They're, like, they're the higher-up ones that are setting up charities and stuff. So, you know, so yes, of course, there's good people that are blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, you gotta fucking stick it to the cops. You know, so, and the aforementioned Terminator 2, you know, James Cameron was like, yeah, the bad guy's a cop, because they're an authority figure, you know. And, you know, and Billy's a good guy and a cop too, but, you know, part of the thing that gets them in trouble is because they were shooting a criminal, you know. So she kicks these guys' asses, which is, you know, she probably doesn't even understand why she can, and then she does, and then, so then Billy ignores the 4 or 5 rapists. It's like, I got to take you in. Okay, buddy. And then he invites her for coffee again. I mean, let's talk about this now. He invites her for coffee. She's like, coffee's bad for you. But I've got V8 at my house.
Oh, my God.
Because when
I
they
wrote
finally,
this down, too.
Yeah, when they finally wear down each other, and, like, he yells at her, and she snaps back to him. She's like, okay, all right, you're cool. You're putting up with my shit, and I'm putting it up with yours. And he's like, well, let's go get some coffee. She's like, I don't drink coffee, bad for you. But I have V8 at my house. He's like, all right. So the guy, like I said, I watched a short documentary interview with this guy, Jordan Bennett, who plays Billy. And so they had already shot the scene where she says, I've got V8 at my house, right? And they were going to leave it at that. But Lucinda Dickey, like for the love scene, because they go into her apartment and there's a love scene. And Lucinda Dickey didn't want to do nudity. And so he was like, okay, well, how else can we make this sexy? And he was, the way Jordan Bennett tells it, he was hanging out by the craft services and he sees a can of V8 there. And he's like, well, what if they got kinky with this V8?
You said the word I wrote down.
What, kinky?
I wrote, is V8 your kink?
And she must have been fine with it because holy shit. And, you know, and so he's like in her apartment. Then she wiggles out and she's like topless in panties, but puts on a dress shirt, leaves it open, which is a super hot thing for a lady to do.
So hot.
But and then she like takes the V8 and goes up to him and she pours it down her cleavage. And you know, if I had a nickel for every time a woman seduced me that way, I'd have 0 nickels. Have you ever wanted to do that?
No.
Okay. Have you ever done any food sex stuff?
Probably chocolate.
Did you? Yeah.
Like the syrup.
Okay.
But had strawberries or cherries or something like that. Mm-hmm. But no, not I feel like it would get all sticky.
Yeah. Well, any of that. Yeah. I actually don't remember, but I think there was a strawberries thing. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sure it was fun. Well, that's the thing. I'm a dumb, horny dude, right? So it's like when someone's bringing out food, well, it's at the point where there's already a lady who's probably naked or at least scantily clad, and I know there's sex going to happen, so I'm not paying attention to other things. I'm like, I hope this goes well, you know? So yeah, he starts to look at the V8 off of her, and then he takes off his shirt, and this guy, tell us, Shandi, tell us about this man's body.
He's hairy, but he's so like, I like that. Hairy.
You like that? Okay.
Love it.
But he is like really hairy.
I know.
And you would be cool with that?
Yeah, because usually guys that are that hairy, it's really soft.
Okay.
So I am totally, especially like when it's on the arms and just on the chest. Usually guys that have back hair too, it's not soft.
Uh-huh.
But guys that have like super hairy chested front, it's usually really soft.
Really? So it's okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder if my 6 chest hairs are soft. But
your 6 chest hairs.
Maybe check. Maybe there's 10 now. Well, and the other thing is like, I think he's gross and hairy. I am not against body hair. Like every woman I've been with or dated, I've always been like, look, you don't have to do all the fucking. You don't have to do all this shit. You don't have to shave your pits. You don't have to shave your legs. Whatever. I don't care. You know.
Dude, I had a boyfriend in, what was it, the 6th grade. He had the hairiest ass
As a 6th grader?
In the 6th grade.
Oh my God.
He was like the kid in school that grew facial hair first. He had a full-on mustache and he started having a beard in the 6th grade. And he flashed all of us once at track practice. And I was like, oh my God. They were like, Shandi, your boyfriend has the hairiest ass.
That is so funny.
It was crazy.
Was he big? Like a big
guy?
No. Okay.
No.
Because my friend that was like that was also like 6'4" when he was in 6th grade.
No, I think because I was already 5'11". I think he was a little bit shorter than me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wasn't a big dude, but he was just hairy.
On average, the men you've dated and stuff or whatever, like how many of them have been shorter than you?
Most of them.
Because you're 5'11", is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean, that's tall, and I mean, I'm shorter than you. You know, I'm what 5'8" or 9" or something. You know, so interesting. Okay. But yeah. Well, most of the women I've dated have been shorter than me, but you really got to look. You know, which is why I've only had a couple of serious relationships. But no. Also, I have a variety of problems, and I'm impossible to live with. I guess that's probably part of it too. But, anyways, but no, their relationship starts out with like, yeah, they're on each other's case, and then suddenly they're having crazy food sex. It's like, wow, this is like feels like from step A to maybe like G or H, you know? Like, whatever. But I like their relationship. They seem to be a good couple after that.
They really do. Is that when the first time the sword
Jesus Christ
comes out on its float, starts floating?
Good God, how did I miss that? Yeah, because it's shortly after that. Oh yeah, because she's in bed with him.
Yeah, and he doesn't wake up at all.
Yeah, she wakes up because like something. The lights
like the
are
sword
going
is
weird.
Speaking to her. Or something?
Yeah, and the sword starts floating around the ninja sword that she got from the guy, and it's floating around. And
There's like wind and fog.
Yeah. It's so cool and random and very
So
80s.
cool.
Smoke machine.
You know what was crazy? So like he doesn't wake up, right?
Right.
Through that whole thing.
Yeah.
But then he does wake up when all the fog and lights go away, and she's just standing there holding the sword, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
She's standing there with a fucking sword.
Yeah.
That's when he gets suspicious, because he's like,
he starts,
where the fuck did you get this?
Yeah. And what does she say? It's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
That's not a fucking answer.
No.
She just says it's Japanese. Like, I know they're fucking Japanese. It's the 80s.
Where did you get it?
Like, yeah. Like, where? You know, but yeah, you're right. So there's the possession scene. And the possession scenes, the haunting scenes are really fun. And that's the first one. And they get progressively crazier, which is fun too. But and that one is pretty much just the windows and the opening up and down and whatever, and the fog. And then the sword floats out. That's pretty much all that one is, right?
The poltergeist sword.
Yeah, dude, that's so good. And so, yes, and also, and you see it this time, she holds the sword, and, you know, she starts seeing images of the ninja in her mind, and the cops and everything. Mm-hmm. And then when they cut back to her, she now has the same eyeliner on that the ninja has.
Oh, her makeup gets really cool.
Yeah, it does. And now, you know, some people might see that and be like, because look, we're two white people, so it's not our decision. But to me, it doesn't feel like a racist thing. It's because they kind of established in this movie that all these ninjas wear that eyeliner. Because the other guy has it on too, even though he only has one eye, but he's got eyeliner, you know. So.
Yeah, well, that, and then they make her kind of like geisha, ghostly of looking.
Yeah, okay. But they don't make her look Asian. There's not like yellow face, right?
But they definitely made her look like she was possessed, like to kind of differentiate between like the levels of where she's at. So
yeah, she's got like some blush on and stuff, right? It kind of blended in. Her cheekbones are kind of more emphasized, aren't they?
Yeah,
when
she
she's
looks
like a ninja
gaunt in the eyes too. Yeah, really cool effect.
Yeah, the makeup. Yeah, like we keep saying, this movie's good. Like it doesn't matter it's a very goofy ass silly movie because they did everything. That's what they wanted to make. And this guy that plays her boyfriend in that interview, he was saying like, yeah, Sam Furstenberg knew exactly what he wanted to do. You know, so that's what they did. But yeah, it's really cool. And I wrote down in one of these scenes where she looks different, I'm like, she was an early pioneer of the whole idea of a hot woman wears makeup to look ugly or haggard. But so where's her Oscar, right? Because Halle Berry won an Oscar for being ugly. So did Charlize Theron, right? So I'm sure there's other women that can't think about. I think Kate Blanchett maybe. But, you know, so it's like, come on, you know. They respect each other. Like, she's working. He stops by in his cop car, say, hey, I got to break our date for tonight. I got to go do some cop stuff. And she's like, oh, that's okay. And so then she looks in the car, and the other guy with him is a sleazeball cop, because Billy's the only cop that's not a complete bag of shit in this movie. And he's like an older cop, sleazy. He's got a cigar probably in that scene, too, and sunglasses, I think, and he's checking her out, right?
Yeah.
Ugh. And this is what I love about how her ninja possession works. Because, like, she sees him and flashes back to how he shot the ninja, right? So you almost can hear that Kill Bill sound. Right? And, like, so they drive away. And she says, bye, honey, whatever. And immediately she's like, ugh, and, like, gets in the phone van and takes off to chase him down. Like, boom. Leaving her coworker there.
He's like, where are you going?
It's like, yeah, poor dude. Yeah, but I just love that how instantaneous it is. She's like, okay, I gotta go right now, you know? And then so she drives a phone van over to the ninja cave and gets, when the lights are still on in the rock, and she collects some ninja shit. And other people have mentioned this, and so I'm not, you know, I'm not saying I'm the first person to make fun of this or talk about it. But she goes to kill this cop, and he's in an undershirt, like we said, a tank top and boxers, black socks, and his shoes. So it's like, wait. And Outlaw Vern, the movie reviewer, I love it, he said in his review, was like, wait, so did he pull his pants off over the shoes, or did he take his shoes off, take his pants off, and put the shoes back on? Either way, it's silly. But yeah, that's what this movie is great because of, like, there's just weird little touches that are like, what the fuck, like that and the V8 and other things, later. But and so they kind of fight. She throws him out that window, and he's like all beat up and dead.
Yeah, he goes out through the window.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when Billy, her boyfriend, starts getting like, what the hell? Like, is this a ninja killed this guy too? And then looks in the crowd at the crime scene. And there you have Sho Kosugi wearing an eye patch.
Oh man, that eye patch is so cool.
It's so cool.
Oh, do we know? I didn't look it up, and I meant to. Did she do stunts in this movie?
Oh, that's a good point. Probably not much, but there's a few times where you can tell she's doing some of the martial arts stuff, for sure.
Yeah. I was just wondering, they definitely probably had a stunt double in there for her.
Yeah, well, and here's a funny thing, and this is later in the movie. She almost kills Billy with a sword, and she swings it at him, and it gets right up close to his face, okay? And we'll get to, I know it's way later in the movie, but there's a reason I'm bringing it up right now. She swings it, gets really close to her face, and then it stops, right? So what happened when they were filming this, and the actor was like, yeah, well, she wasn't, we weren't comfortable with her ability to do that right. So Sho Kosugi, who plays the eye patch guy and was actually he's a new ninjutsu in karate, and he's like a fucking martial artist, right? He did it. And so in that scene when it's a close-up of the sword going to Billy's face, it's Sho Kosugi swinging it. And the way the actor playing Billy tells it is like he swung it at him like full force.
Whoa.
And he was like, oh shit. So he's like, my fear in that scene is real. But then because Sho's a fucking, master, it stopped right when it needed to stop, And the guy was like, holy shit. And he's like, Sho Kosugi started laughing at me. Which is kind of a dick move, because it's like, look, man, not everybody else here is a martial arts master. Like, come on, You scared this little white dude from upstate New York. Like, come on,
I think even with like training and rehearsal, like no matter how many times somebody swung a sword at my face full force, I would probably always be terrified.
Yeah, always at least flinch. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. Yeah, so she did some stuff. And that's another thing about like all these canon films, Sam Furstenberg and stuff. And the other Israeli-American guy I mentioned who did movies later, Isaac Florentine, same deal, where they definitely put care into the fight choreography. And it's shot well, so you can see everything. And yeah, Sho Kosugi definitely does a lot of his own stuff. I think at this point he was getting a little older, so there's some of the jumpy, flippy stuff that you can kind of tell it's not him. But Lucinda Dickey's doing her own stuff, And
cool.
And I don't know, not all the time, but there's definitely times where it's clearly her, But and they do get away with it because when she's doing the most martial arts stuff, well, she's in a ninja suit, so it could be anybody,
Yeah.
So, that's a clever filmmaking little trick there. But I don't know if you noticed this, but in the credits of the movie, the stunt players, there's two funny things about the stunt credits in the movie. First of all, in any movie, they'll like at the end credits, you'll have all the people, right, the actors, and then it'll have the stunt people, right? And then it'll move on. The credits of this movie have the actor credits, the stunt people, and then like a couple more actors. And it's like... I'm like, wait, were they like thought they were done? They're like, oh shit, we forgot these guys.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's just weird. But also in the stunt credits is Robbie Knievel. Evil Knievel's son, Robbie Knievel.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what? There's a couple motorcycle stunts in this movie.
That's right.
Like you mentioned in the beginning. Then. Yeah. And there's some later on when she fights the cops again at the cemetery. There's some. I believe there's some motorcycle stuff there too. Could be wrong, but yeah,
cool.
Which is kind of amazing. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, but anyways, but yeah, some good stunts, and yeah, people, everybody in it is like giving it their all. And the way the guy explained it in his interview was like, yeah, we had a great time, and he said they shot this in Phoenix and Arizona. And, the actors and stuff didn't have cars. He's like, yeah, sometimes at night, a couple of us would steal the phone van, the one they use in the movie, and, like, go out on the town in Phoenix. So, how fun is that?
This does seem like, man, everybody had to have a fucking blast making this movie.
I was just finishing it up this morning, and my daughter was there. I'm like, man, this was a good time, because it's, like, crazy. And, like... It's dancing around. It's throwing people around and swinging swords and stuff. But yeah, so she's getting possessed and starts going after cops. She kills that one. And then there's another sleazy-ass cop who, like, is at the police station with two ladies that he picked up or what. And he's like...
Do we assume they're working women?
Like, yeah, I think so. But also, like... So he goes to a health spa with them. And he's sitting in the hot tub with these two ladies. And then so Christy, the main character, walks in. And, you know, she's going to kill him. Now, this time she's using... It's like the ninja who's possessed her is using the fact that she's like a sexy woman as camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
And she walks in there, you know, takes off her bathrobe, and she's like, you know, a knockout. She's stacked. She's got this swimsuit on. And so the sleazy cop is like, hey, and kind of starts ignoring the other two ladies. But they seem really mad about it, like almost like they're both dating him or something.
They're so pissed off. They keep calling, they're like, you fucking bitch. Because it's so weird because she walks in and she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, she just goes right up to him.
Anything when she walks in. She doesn't say anything to the two women. She doesn't make a peep even to the guy. She literally just like walks in, puts towels down, takes off her robe, gets in the hot tub, walks up to the cop and just starts making out with him.
Yeah. Which,
like, it's fucking creepy.
If I had guests with me, I would not. But if I was alone in a hot tub and that happened, fine.
Yeah, but like...
Fine. Bring it on.
What is going on?
Yeah, it's super weird. And yeah, the women are very upset to me. That's why I thought maybe they weren't just prostitutes or something. Because like they seem emotionally involved with this guy and mad.
She actually goes, like, hey, what kind of place is this?
Yeah. See, and I don't think sex workers would be that upset about that. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not one. I don't really know any, so whatever.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah. But so she's making out with him, and then of course you see her hands are behind his head, and she's got like a ring on with a little needle on it. It's poison, you know, and she slashes him with it
right across his back. Right?
Yeah. Yikes.
Ugh.
And then she's like, so the other girl's like, what's going on? At first, like, what's going on? He's really into it. But at that point, he's like kind of like going into conniptions and falling over. It's like, is that what he does when he's into it, girls? I mean, but so he dies, and then she kills the two girls. Oh man, that's brutal. Because she kills one with the same needle. She slashes her, and then she fucking takes out a garrote wire or something and chokes the other lady to death.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's a, you know, I mean, this is a very pop movie, you know, very pop culture. It's not super intense at all, but that's a pretty brutal death, I thought, you know.
Yeah, that's like straight up assassin type shit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, very.
Really
it's like the game Hitman. Oh my God, someone should make a video game where you're like a sexy lady who's possessed by a ninja and you have to sneak around and kill people. I'd love that game.
And then you have to go to work to like get life points or something.
Yeah.
So you got to go climb the telephone pole.
Yeah. That's like the bonus round or something.
Oh, no, you use your job at the telephone company as like, you know, that's your cover. And you go up the poles to like check out and see where the bad guys are. It's
well, you know, I don't know if you know this, but in modern video games, it is a very common trend to have to, if you're running around the area, to have to like climb up a tower or a post or something to like explore more of the map. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, and she could like plug in and like listen to people's phone calls and shit.
Yeah. Dude, this is a great game. Who's listening? Years ago, I said there should be a Killer Clowns video game, and they made one. So somebody's paying attention. Yeah. All right. Anyways, it's a pretty kick-ass assassin scene, really. And so then she, you know, and the next day she wakes up and now she's bruised and beat up, and Billy comes over. He's like, what the fuck's going on? She's like, I don't know. And that's like what you were talking about earlier, is how terrifying that must be.
Yeah, she's like, I've just lost time, like hours of time. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I wrote something down that I thought, I don't know if you think it would be funny, but I wrote, that's a crazy coinkydink. Cop sees girl becomes possessed by ninja, kills cop's partner. It's a modern love story.
Yeah. Boy meets girl, meets ninja ghost, kills cop, meets James Hong. You know, but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. That's kind of like this whole tension that's throughout a lot of the movies. Like, oh shit, they're falling in love, but she at some point is going to find out that he's one of the people she needs to kill. So
Yep.
Yeah. And in the meantime, the guy with the eye patch, Yamada, has come to town, and he's got this backstory that the ninja who died and is now inside Christie killed his master or something, right?
Yeah, or his dad.
There's somebody.
He killed his dad or somebody
I don't
important
know.
to him.
Yeah, he killed an old man that Yamada liked. And and then took his eye. He's the reason he wears an eye patch. He threw something in his eye.
I think he got a ninja star in the eye.
Yeah, probably a ninja star. So he wants to get revenge,
following a trail, right?
Yeah.
He goes everything.
Yeah, he goes and finds the body and sees the guy's dead, but then notices these crimes that are very similar to ninja methods. So he starts kind of showing up at places, but yeah, and it's funny when he first gets to America, he's in the airport and he meets up with some other, I assume they're like martial arts guys, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's what an honor to meet you, and you're here to meet with us." He's like, "Oh, I'm just here for revenge." They're like, "Okay." Like it's just a fucking. Is that a normal thing in ninja life? It's like I had to fly halfway across the world to kill a guy that took my eye out. You know how it is. Yeah. But, man, Sho Kosugi's cool. He's got a good presence to him, right? He's kind of cheesy. He's definitely like an 80s thing, But he's cool in this movie, right?
He's super cool.
Yeah.
I like his haircut. I like his clothing. He just looks like fucking sleek and chill and he's really cool.
If you haven't seen the movie, listeners, just picture Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. If he was Japanese and had a throwing star belt buckle, right? Because it's kind of his clothing. I just realized now he kind of looks like that, right? Like the same hair and clothes.
Yeah.
But that's good because that guy's badass. So whatever.
I even wrote that down. I was like, I need a throwing star belt buckle, and I drew it.
Yes, you drew it. That's funny.
I did because how fucking cool is that?
Yeah, I just wrote Sharika belt buckle because I just wanted to remember that it happened. But yeah, so he's starting to investigate. In the meantime, she's all worried what the fuck's happening to me. And that's when she's like, yeah, well, and I can, see things before they happen. And I'm blacking out. I don't know what's happening to me at night. Da-da-da-da. So he convinced her to go to a doctor. And we were talking about much earlier, is the doctor's like, well, you're fine, except for the ESP.
Except for that.
So the doctor's like, you're fine. She's like, I'm not fine. So Billy's like, well, there's a guy in the Asiatic department, is that... I suppose if you're in a big city and there's a significant Asian population, like a Chinatown or something like that, little Tokyo, whatever, I suppose you have cops possibly of Asian heritage that pay attention to that stuff because they'll know about the culture, they can hopefully speak the language and all that, right? That makes sense, I guess. And it's and so the friend of the Asiatic department references them to some kind of mystic Japanese, like a Japanese mystic kind of shaman. What do they call him? I can't remember if they call psychic kind of guy, right?
I don't know what you call him. I guess because he's like a guy that
he's an exorcist.
An exorcist. That was
because
he tries to get spirits out of people.
Mm-hmm. And he's portrayed by James Hong, who is not
Yay!
Japanese. James Hong is Chinese.
Hong.
Yeah, dude. His acting credits are just off the chain.
Unbelievable.
465. So, yeah. And if you don't know much about that stuff, 100 is pretty damn good for an older person. So what the fuck? And James Hong, if you don't know who he is, well, the thing is you do. Everybody does. He's in everything. Well, that's the thing. He's in everything. And he's the bad guy in Big Trouble in Little China. But so he's this is a bizarre. This whole visiting the Exorcist thing is a bizarre transaction. Because he starts they walk in. He's like, "Oh yes, you have some sort of problems, and I can help you." And then Billy hands him a lot of money.
Yeah, fat fucking wad.
A lot of money. It looks like $1,000. It looks like a lot of money.
Yeah, he's probably part of all the corrupt fucking cops.
Oh, you're right. He's paid off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then they start chaining her up. And she's like, we didn't even tell her what my problem was yet. And the boyfriend's like, don't worry about it. It's like, hold the fucking phone. You're going to immediately chain this woman up and she doesn't even tell you what her issue is? It's like, what if I just said I have a yeast infection? It's like, fuck. But I think it's the last anecdote I have from that Jordan Bennett interview, the guy that played Billy. But this is amazing. He was like, "Yeah, James Hong's a character. When you like in that scene when he starts chanting, he's just saying E.T. phone home." I'm like, fucking no way. Margaret's watched it with me, so we go back and watch it. Yeah. And he's doing, I mean, James Hong's a good actor, so he's covering it up, so you don't know to look for it unless you know it's there. Like, I would never have known unless that guy didn't, if that guy hadn't said anything. But yeah, he's like, E.T. phone home. Like, he's doing that. Because this guy's made like hundreds and hundreds of movies, so he was probably on 12 different jobs at this time, right? So he gets paid to come in for one day and shoot this ninja movie. He's like, fuck it, I'll just say E.T. phone home. Like, who cares?
I wonder if it's in the script, it just said chant.
Yeah, and he was like, okay.
Just like, just whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple years after E.T., so maybe he's like, I love E.T. So he does. And man, this scene, like this is a possession scene. It's great. And I said, you know what they say? If the candles don't freak out, you aren't possessed.
Yep.
Because every possession movie, the candles go out or get big or the flames jump up and down or whatever, and they do all that in this movie.
And then it starts getting really windy.
Yeah.
But what does he give her in the pipe? Does he like?
I don't know.
I was like, did he just give her fucking like opium or something?
I think it was opium.
Jesus.
I think so. Because it kind of like knocks her out. I think it's basically to shut her conscious down so that the evil ninja conscious can take over. It's probably I'm only having that thought right now. But
that's cool.
Yeah. It happens pretty fast. This ninja, like you said, he was not good at hiding in the beginning. And even as he's possessing this woman, there's zero subtlety.
No.
Like, as soon as he gets a chance, like, she passes out from the opium or whatever, he's like, all right, I'm going to fucking freak out now. And just, like, she starts spinning around and screaming and pulling the chains.
Spinning around is crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, everything in this movie, like, the possession stuff, there's no set of rules. Like, a lot of times a movie, like, The Matrix is a very good example of setting up the rules of the world of your movie, you know? But so Ninja 3, there's no rule setting. They're just like, yeah, whatever kind of cool shit we can afford, we'll just make it happen. Like, really? And like, when she starts spinning around and it's clearly like a mannequin spinning around on the chains is so fucking awesome, you know?
I love when, so the woman that was in the front of the room that, took them back, once it starts getting out of control in that back room, she just cuts out.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
You see her in the bottom right of the screen. She's like, I'm fucking out of here.
Well,
she just fucking leaves.
Yeah, of course. And you had sort of that role for, what was it, a salon or something, where you're kind of like the receptionist front desk person who brings you back, right? So
yeah.
If you work in a salon and like someone back there getting a haircut starts freaking out and screaming ninja shit, you fucking leave.
I'm fucking out.
Yeah, so she made the right choice.
But it happens in a lot of horror movies. There's always that one person that's like, I'm fucking out of here. Like, I'm not sticking around.
Yeah.
Waiting to see what happens. I'm out.
And those characters live.
Yep.
And they're not often in the sequel because they're like, I'm fucking changing my life so that I can never be in this sort of situation again. You know? I'm gonna start that online college course. On the University of Phoenix, I'm going to change my life.
But kudos to Billy, though. But, even though it's so unorthodox what he's doing to try to help her, since nothing else has helped her, he's just like, we're going to figure this out. Like,
yeah, together, as a couple.
Yeah. And she trusts him a lot, because she's like, what the fuck?
Their relationship did start very quickly and went from hating each other to fucking with a soft drink or juice, whatever, very quickly. But they do have a good relationship. It's funny, but I don't know. But I suppose these filmmakers were not concerned about relationship drama, so it was probably like, they're just fine. So we don't have to talk. We don't have to write like weird dialogue. We don't have to have any complications. They're just immediately fine. So. But like I said, the tension of when is he going to find out that he's one of her targets, and when is she going to find out,
Yeah, but so they do exorcise the demon, right?
A little bit.
He does leave, right?
No, not at
After
this
this?
point. It's later. No. That's way later at the temple. Because the exorcist guy activates her on purpose.
Ah, okay.
Because that's the ancient rule of ninja philosophy, right? If you knock someone out with opium and then say "E.T. phone home" a whole bunch of times, that'll bring out the demon spirit. So, anyways. But yeah, so that's what it is. And so she starts freaking out. And Billy's like, "Stop! So they stop. And then it cuts to Sho Kosugi's going to the morgue at this point. That's when you see his ninja belt buckle. And he doesn't kill these cops. He just hits them in the hands. I think he kills a couple cops later, but then he goes in and he like just goes into the morgue and like sees that there's his nemesis dead. So he's like, "What the fuck?" So
he's like, where is he?
And so then that night, she's back home, and like Shandi said, like she's basically like very frustrated at this point in her life. She's like, "I don't know what the fuck is happening to me, but I know how to fix it: sweaty dancing." And
well, do you notice that her hair changes? Like her hair starts getting gray.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. Like the exorcism was so rough that started happening. Yeah.
Yeah, which was like a cool touch. Like nobody even mentions it. Like Billy's not even like, what the fuck happened to your hair?
I think
but that's what happens with stress.
Yeah. And I think everybody's checking out her ass or whatever, and they just don't notice her hair. But hey, baby. But whatever. There's several times in the movie where she's like in some stressful situation, smash cut to her at home in panties and a t-shirt dancing to music. And so this time it's like she's really going for it. And yeah, like you said, this is when the spirit really comes after her. Oh, we forgot there's one in the middle there at one point with the arcade machine.
Oh, it's Bouncer, which is a real arcade game.
Yeah. Where you throw people out of the bar?
Yeah.
That's amazing. But yeah, so at some point, I forget which possession scene, but that video game thing comes to life. There's fog coming out of it. It's got
lasers.
And it's like laser scanning her.
Yeah, the scanning bit. I was like,
dude,
what is going on?
Is that? It's so good. Because it doesn't really make sense, but I mean, obviously, who cares? But, and I wrote something else about it that I thought was maybe worth mentioning. I can't remember. But
that was fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, it's really cool. Shortly before they leave James Hong, by the way, he says, like, because he figured out who the ghost is. He's like, he's a ninja. And Billy goes, "What is that?" And I wrote down, the hardest thing to believe in this movie is that a cheesy white dude in the 80s doesn't know what ninjas are. Bullshit. Fucking white dudes loved ninjas in the 80s.
What? You know? Yeah, that makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
You know. Because when Kung Fu first hit in America in the 70s, it was like 42nd Street, it was Harlem, you know. Because normally when it comes to a cool trend, black people get it first because they're cooler than us. But eventually, white dudes got a hold of it too, and that's where he made it cheesier by making it all about ninjas. But so yeah, he definitely, come on. So this final possession scene, there's laughing. There wasn't the laughing before. The laughing ghost stuff.
Yeah.
And I wrote, the laughing ghost scene is like if you hit David Lynch in the face with a brick and then asked him to make a horror movie scene. Because it's got some of that. It's like, what if David Lynch was like stupid is kind of what it is, which is perfect for this movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. It's like weird and there's laughing and it's kind of surreal and stuff, which is the stuff he's about. But it's also like this 80s babe being turned into a ninja.
Well, I like how she turns on the radio and tries to dance to like not let this happen. She's like, I don't want this to fucking happen to me again.
And the floating... Sorry, go ahead.
No, and it's just really funny. Because it's like, how is that this is gonna deter...
Well, what else is she gonna
do? The dancing sword that's coming at you?
Yeah. Well, but so then the sword, like, the floating sword is like, no way. And it, like, just cuts the boombox in half and turns off the music.
It's so awesome!
The sword is like, this is bullshit. But, I mean, what else is she supposed to do, Shandi? She's supposed to pour V8 on her boobs again? You know, I don't know. I don't think that's going to work. So
just throw V8 at the sword.
Yeah.
There was a moment before this happens where the cops are talking about Billy's partner's funeral.
Yeah.
The cop that has the tiny little cheesy mustache, not the other cop that had the cigar.
Yeah.
But he says this, and it made me laugh so hard I almost peed my pants. Because he's talking about Billy's girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's like, I know the lady's beautiful, but don't forget the funeral.
Yeah, what the fuck is that all about?
I'm like, is he fucking rapping? What's going on?
What is it? You're right, that does rhyme. I know the lady's beautiful, but don't forget the funeral. You're right, it's got the right rhythm to it, too. That's funny.
It just is such a weird thing to say.
He says that, and she looks up at him, and that's another Kill Bill, because that's the other guy.
Yep.
So then, so then Billy goes to the funeral, notices her phone van there.
I said, damn, attacking a funeral 'cause you're beautiful?
I know you're beautiful, but don't attack the funeral. And man, does she attack it.
Oh, she does, man. This movie's got so many good little gems.
It's fucking crazy.
Man.
And like, so I don't know if the dude she's shooting at is just really good and athletic, or if because it's the ninja trying to make this dance instructor or fitness instructor shoot at air, but she misses several times and kills like a bunch of other guys. And then finally kills him, and then the cops chase her through the cemetery. She like breaks some headstones, and it's crazy.
Dude, I mean, come on, like this ninja, this black ninja in the beginning of the movie kills all these fucking cops in broad daylight, and now he's possessed this chick, and he's got the fucking balls to go to a cop funeral.
Yeah, and kills at least 5 more. That's what I wrote down. I lost track, but like it's crazy.
Not inconspicuous.
No, not right. I was about to say that. Not like so we're on the same page. Not like she's not sneaking around. She's not poisoning them. She's not choking them with a garrote wire. She's like, I'm gonna shoot really big arrows into their face.
Those arrows were really big.
They're
oh my
huge.
God,
That's so funny.
They're like bigger than her whole body.
Yeah, it's like where did you? It's like what I talked about in the other movie where Sho Kosugi apparently had a mannequin in his belt or whatever. It's like, okay, well, maybe since ninjas have magic powers in this movie, maybe they have Mary Poppins powers, right? Where they have that endless duffel bag with everything.
Dude, she like kicks one of the cops in the head that's wearing a helmet and breaks the fucking helmet in half.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's the thing is like this movie has, I thought, some martial arts chops. It's got, and I think that's partially thanks to Sho Kosugi and the other guys, Sam Furstenberg probably, but I don't know who else with martial arts experience worked on it, but I'm sure there were other people, whatever. But yeah, it's got, like, the fights look good, and yeah, there's some good martial arts shit in it, and yeah, this is just like another scene of the ninja just fucking up cops. And then Sho Kosugi's character, Yamada, the eye patch guy, like is there because he's been kind of investigating. So he finally chases her, and they have a fight in some sort of dilapidated, abandoned home. And she's like, runs up the stairs and is like pushing shit at him, like an oven and stuff, and a garbage can.
Like a whole bunch of shit. He keeps going up the stairs. Yeah. I'm like, she's gonna throw more shit.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, what a ninja move, right?
So I'm like, what's he gonna do to get up? I'm like, you gotta go up another way. He's like, I'll just jump straight up through the floorboard.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking ninja. I can do that, so apparently. Cool. But they fight for a while, and she hurts him. He gets like a piece of wood or something stuck in his chest or in his stomach.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So she takes off. And he's like, and he pulls it out. Well, of course, that's enough time for the cops to show up. And they arrest him. And that's when he meets Billy. And this is actually, I thought, cool and good writing. Was like, Billy goes up to this. He sees the eye patch guy getting arrested. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I've seen this guy before. Because he's talking about the crime scene and stuff. They've seen him sneaking around. So he goes to talk to him. He's like, hey, man. And immediately Yamada goes, I've been waiting for you. And just immediately cuts to the fucking chase and goes like, where's the sword? And it's like, I love that he's not fucking around, because I hate, a lot of movies do it, especially when you're already middle of the movie or something, where there's a character in it who is behind the audience. And so you have to watch this guy figure out something that you already know. Mm-hmm. It's not always fun. Some movies do it well, some don't, whatever. But it's fun to like skip all that. Be like, yeah, this guy's like, hey, let's cut the horse shit. I know what's going on. Where's the sword? So
do you think also Billy was expecting to see her though? Because he's been kind of suspicious of her, and so he was like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Like, where is she at? her van, which just goes in the background behind all of them.
Yes, as they're arresting him. Yeah, I love that. They do that a few times in the movie where a killing happens and you see her van like take off. It's so good. It's cool. It's just cool, and it's fun. But
there she goes.
Yamada's like, get the sword, get the girl, bring her to this temple. The temple's great. Anyways, and we'll like try and fix all this. And it's like, only a ninja can kill another ninja, which is another thing that I think is just made up for this movie. Like, that's not real.
No.
But so Billy's talking to Yamada in the cop car, and Yamada's like, go do this. And he's like, okay. Because, I mean, Billy starts trusting him right away because the guy knows stuff right away, you know? So he's like, okay, well, this guy knows what's going on. And then he looks down at Yamada's handcuffs. And Yamada's like, don't worry. Don't worry about me. And you remember this? He's got the fucking, he's got like a little poison dart thing hidden under his eye patch.
Yeah, I wrote, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, and I wrote we need more movie characters that do that. Although, when he gets to that, though, he's not being very sneaky. He pretends to cough, but then his hand just moves up to his eye. It's like, dude, nobody coughs with their hand over their eye. Oh, I'm coughing out of my eye. Okay.
I would think, like, just pretending like you're scratching under the eye patch, would be the move.
Yeah, why the coughing? It's just more of the things that make this movie a beautiful snowflake. But it's just as great. But so then he, like, now here I think he is killing these cops, though. I think they're dead. I mean, right? Maybe not.
Yeah, because he also used the poison knife thing, or the poison ring thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead. And so he escapes, and then you see, Christy goes home, and she's all bruised up and shit, and then Billy comes in, and I wrote down, you know what? I've never had a girlfriend that I did not think was a ninja, because I get it. So he's very suspicious. And I wrote down in quotes, like, because then he's like, obviously he's freaking out. Yeah. And I wrote down in quotes, I can't believe I got to pull my gun on another girlfriend. And he seems like a better guy than that, but I just thought it was funny.
Oh, no.
And then she pulls a sword, because this is when, him holding the gun triggers the ninja memory that, oh my God, it is him.
I know. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So then she's like about to kill him with the sword. And then we go to that part that I talked about earlier where the sword comes right to his head and stops. And she's like, I love you. And he's like, Christy! Oh, man.
It's a modern love story.
It is a modern boy meets hot sword lady movie.
Modern love. She's a ninja. Modern love.
Wait.
He's a boyfriend and a cop.
I like that song.
I don't know.
That's better than all the songs in the movie.
No, Body Shop. That's a good song.
Body Shop. Well, now we know it's Body Shop. So I suppose it's because that's like, because that song is playing over the workout part where it's a fitness class. So I guess that's like, that's what the song is like. The song is like, that's what gyms are.
So remember we were talking earlier about what we thought he was saying. So I found out I had written it down and I thought it was Body Shock.
Shock? Like electricity?
Yeah. Body shock. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's not that.
No, it's dumber. But what's funny is, and this is in Phoenix, not in LA, but it looks like they did shoot in Phoenix, but at the time I thought it was being shot in LA. And so I wrote down, yes, that Griffith Park Kung Fu temple that is definitely real. Because they drive to this temple and it is clearly not really there.
Yeah, no.
Right? It's just like clearly backlit or some sort of special effect to show it there. And yeah. And then that's when he's talking to, so Yamada goes in first and talks to all the Kung Fu Shaolin monk guys that are there or whatever they are. And only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
And didn't he steal the guy's body from the morgue?
Yeah, he's got the body with him. He took his body from the body shop.
From the body morgue.
And yeah.
Wouldn't that be what a morgue is? Is basically a body shop.
You're right, yeah. But he's got a station wagon to transport the body. He brings the body in, puts it under a red sheet because it looks dramatic. And then Christy runs in her ninja outfit, and she fights him a little bit, right? And then he helps her get the spirit out, the bad guy's spirit out of her. It's awesome because the body like turns very unnaturally, and then it just tips up. Like he doesn't get up.
No,
the body goes like it's really weird and awesome, and it just tips up, and then he starts doing some more crazy magic shit. He does the he shoots like I wrote something crazy. So I was imagining when they're writing this movie, how can we give Sho Kosugi a scene where he has to fight a bunch of opponents that also know martial arts? And one of the other writers must have been like, I don't know, zombie telepathy fireballs?
Yeah, I wrote down the fireball.
Because it's like, but it's like it's a mind control fireball or so. I don't know what the fuck you would call it, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, he dominates them.
Yeah,
with his fireball magic.
Fireball dominate. It's very Street Fighter. I was very surprised that he'd go, Hadouken, but
yeah, it was really cool. I was like, oh shit, the monks. Oh shit.
And then they happen to have a really badass training area that's like Nickelodeon Guts, right? Or something out of fucking American Gladiators. Right, like all these nets and poles and stuff to climb
really convenient.
Yeah. So Yamada's climbing on that and fighting these guys. Now, he's not killing those guys, right? Because he knows they're his buddies. He doesn't want to kill them, right? I don't think he kills them.
Yeah, no, just knock them out.
Yeah, and so then he gets outside and he starts fighting the bad ninja. I forget. He's even the credits as Black Ninja. I don't think they name him, so whatever. So he's fighting that guy. And then Billy shows up to get Christy, and he wakes her up.
Well, they just end up standing around and watching.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So they wake up. He's like, oh, my God. She's like, I'm okay now. Okay, good. And they go out, to see the guys fighting. And they just fucking stand there.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots towards them, and they're just staring.
Yeah, it's so weird. And then finally, it's like Billy thinks like, oh, yeah, I have a gun. So then he starts, then he pulls his gun out. But they still don't really accomplish anything. And but Yamada, they have a big long fight, and there's a lot of cool ninja shit happening, and there's smoke pellets and the grappling hook, and he's got a chain at one point that he fights, but he beats the guy eventually, and then he starts spinning around in place
like a fucking gopher.
Yeah, and creates a ninja quake.
That's how he disappeared in the beginning when he threw the smoke bomb, because I was like, how the fuck did he burrow himself so fucking fast?
Whatever these spells are, they're very weird spells. And it's a very specific thing.
Yeah, really cool, though.
He must have gone to his teacher or a wizard or something like, I want you to teach me a spell where I drill into the ground by spinning around really fast, then I make an earthquake. And the wizard was probably like, okay. Don't you want to just shoot lightning or something? But yeah. Then he comes out, and Yamada falls, and Yamada's trying to climb up back to where the other people are, and he starts climbing after him, and then Christy stabs him with a sword. Which
finally takes some action.
Yeah. And she takes the sword back and essentially, quote unquote, gives it back to the Black Ninja by fucking stabbing him with it.
Oh, yeah.
And he falls down, but he's not dead, of course. And he starts trying to get Yamada again, and Yamada stabs him in the top of the head.
Oh my God. I wrote, geesh, a knife in the top of the head?
That's fucked
up. Geesh.
Right in the brain. So that does kill him, like it should. And he falls down. His body turns into light because ninjas. I don't know what else why.
Possess ninja.
Yeah, I guess. And then, now everything's cool. And they're like, it's over. And then Billy and Christy give Yamada the whitest bow I've ever seen in my life. When they bow to him, I'm like, you guys are so fucking white. So,
I said out loud, over now my ass.
Yeah, but it was.
Well, because I was like, that would be a good setup for another one. Part of his soul was still in Chrissy. They walk back to the car. Let's go get some V8. And he gets in the car and she turns and her face goes all white.
Yes, that would be great.
That would have been cool.
And actually, because that happens in a lot of movies where it's it freezes on somebody at the end. And so it would be great if she turns to her camera and her eyes have the eyeliner on them again or something like that. But but here's the deal: is now the Three Ninja movies are not really related. but the first one, Enter the Ninja. The last shot, and I'll send you the GIF later, and you will praise the heavens and thank me because it's fucking ridiculous. But the last shot of Enter the Ninja is Franco Nero, the Italian man who's the ninja, and he's like very handsome. He's got a mustache. It's him looking at the camera, and he winks, and it freezes on the wink, and then the title of the movie comes back, and right next to it said, Enter the Ninja. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So that would have been great for them to freeze on her, and like, yeah, it'd be like the end of the Thriller music video, where it's like she's got like a monster face and he doesn't know, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what? I'm pretty sure Lucinda Dickey's still alive. She seems like a very healthy person in real life, just like her character, so she's probably still around. Yes, and she's 64. Okay. Jordan Bennett, I'm pretty sure, is still around. Sho Kosugi is still alive. Let's make a fucking Legacy sequel. Come on. Right?
Come on.
Why not?
Ninja 4. Bloodlines.
Ninja 4, The Domination 2, Bloodlines, Part 1.
Part 1. Part 3, Part 1.
Ninja 3, Part 2, The Domination, Part 2, Bloodlines, Part 1. Oh my god! But it's great when you look up Sho Kosugi's movies. Like when you Google him, it shows results of the most popular movies. It's Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja, Ninja 3, Ninja Assassin, Pray for Death, which has him in a ninja mask on the cover. It's like, hell yeah, this guy knows what he likes. So yeah, they should make a Legacy sequel to this movie because why not?
Maybe they try to find another ninja to possess her to like fight him.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Right.
Or you just have it be about like drug dealers, like every other 80s movie sequel. So, it's like, oh, what about those drug dealers? Oh yeah, you can fight the drug dealers. Yeah. But I mean, that's it. And what a fucking great movie.
Hell fucking yeah. Love that movie.
Yeah.
What are we watching next?
Well, we're going to watch Versus. A group of ruthless gangsters, an unknown woman, and an escaped convict have met in the Forest of Resurrection, the 144th portal to the other side. Their troubles start when those once killed and buried in the forest come back from the dead.
Whoa.
I know I'm going to watch this and be like, why couldn't that shit have happened when those fucking Paul brothers went to the suicide forest in Japan? So, remember that?
Yeah.
You know what? I would, if you wrote a horror movie where like a bunch of fucking influencers get ripped to shreds by zombies or some shit, people would love it because everybody hates those guys. Right? Nobody actually likes the Paul brothers, do they?
No.
Logan and Jake?
No.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Not genuinely.
No.
It's just weird that like that's your personality.
Yeah,
it's just
like
selling shit.
Thing.
It's like I'm a QVC person basically. Is my identity. It's gross.
Yeah, because they kind of like hawk products and shit. I'd rather be a little broke here and there than having to do that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Shandy, you want to talk about social medias?
Thank you for listening to this really fun episode of Earn Full of Popcorn. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Earn Full of Popcorn. That's Earn, Fulla, Popcorn. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have a website. Check it out. Did I mention everything? Yeah.
I think you did.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple.
Your mom.
Your mom.
On our website, earnfullofpopcorn.com. You know what? Let's bring that back. Your mom.
Your mom?
There was a good 10 years where that was just the best response to any question. Hey, what do you guys want for dinner? Your mom. What's the answer to this math question?
It kind of does work for everything.
It does. It was great. It was like, you know what it was? And again, just like I said with Kung Fu and Ninja movies, something that was bigger in the black community first, hip-hop community, and then everybody did it. Because it started out as Yo Mama and all those snaps jokes.
Uh-huh.
Like, your mama's so fat, whatever. And then it just became like, your mom, so, but it's still good. I like it. Thank you to Jordan Cooper for writing the theme song. Thank you to Steve Ward from Canada. And God damn it, I'm so sorry about what's happening between your country and our country. But just know that most people are on your country's side. Anyway, so thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Steve. Thank you to Shandi. Thank you to Lucinda Dickey. I don't know. That's it. I guess we're done now. We'll be back with another movie. And despite what we said about influencers, if you send us something for free, we'll totally become your whores. So, right? I mean, if it's gummy worms, everything else can fucking kick rocks.
Yeah, gummy worms, gummy bears, any kind of candy is accepted.
Gummies, preferably. Or licorice.